Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Rain or Shine. Recently, my husband and I visited some of the best destinations in Turkey. Today, I'll be sharing with you our favorite places in Istanbul, one of the most vibrant cities in the world. Istanbul is located over the Bosphorus Strait, where Asia meets Europe. So here are our top 10 Istanbul places in no particular order. Number 1 on our list is Hagia Sofia, located in the historic Sultanahmet neighborhood. Hagia Sofia, which name in Greek means holy wisdom, was built in the 6th century as the Cathedral of Constantinople under the direction of the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I. Hagia Sofia, a masterpiece of art and architecture, was the most magnificent building of the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire for almost 1,000 years. After the fall of Constantinople in 1453, the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror turned the building into a mosque. Since 1935, with the secularization of the Turkish Republic, Ataturk transformed Hagia Sofia into a museum, and its upper areas could be visited. Once again, it was transformed into a mosque in 2020, and currently the entrance is free, though there's only access to the lower level by the moment. We absolutely loved its extraordinary interior with its golden decorations, precious stones, and its unique combination of styles. Staying under its large and ancient dome, first of its kind, we totally understood why Hagia Sophia will always be one of the greatest monuments of the whole world. Next on our list is the Blue Mosque. This iconic building is located just a few meters away from Hagia Sophia. Also known as Sultan Ahmed Mosque, was built at the beginning of the 17th century in the classical Ottoman style, and it remains fully functional since then. Crossing its main gate and walking through its big courtyard while listening to the call to prayer from its tall minarets is a really evocative experience. Luckily for all the visitors, the mosques in Istanbul are open to non-Muslims outside the prayer times. Please be respectful and dress appropriately, covering your legs and shoulders when you enter the mosques. Women must cover their hair too, and of course, remove your shoes before accessing the interior. You will never forget the majestic beauty of the Iznik tiles and its interior decoration, with many details painted in blue colors, from which the mosque gets its more popular name. Some sources say that Sultan Ahmed I may have ordered to build the Blue Mosque to surpass Hagia Sophia, but we felt that both buildings complement each other harmoniously in the stunning historic heart of Istanbul. The Constantinople Hippodrome is our number 3, located just in front of the Blue Mosque. The early morning is the best moment to visit the nearby monuments of this ancient place. When Constantine the Great moved the Roman Empire capital from Rome to the Greek city of Byzantium, the New Rome, as the emperor first called it, quickly was named Constantinople on his honor. Constantine greatly enlarged the city, undertaking renovations of the original hippodrome and bringing its capacity to 100,000 spectators. Today, this place is known as Sultanahmet Square. But in the times of the Byzantine Empire, this famous circus was the venue for the most important sports and social events in the capital. Without the crowds, it's easier to imagine the horse and chariot riders that raced here in the ancient times. Number 4 on our list is the Topkapi Palace, located just a few meters behind Hagia Sophia. Nowadays, this huge complex is an interesting museum, but from the 1460s until 1856, the Topkapi Palace was the main residence of the powerful Ottoman sultans and the administrative center of their empire. Its construction was ordered by Mehmed the Conqueror shortly after the conquest of Constantinople. Inside the palace area, you can admire exquisite collections of holy relics, charming courtyards, and beautiful buildings. But if your time is limited, don't miss visiting the harem. The imperial harem, part of the private apartments of the sultan, was home to the sultan's mother, wives, concubines, and children. Many believe that this was a place of fantasy and constant parties. But the main purpose of the harem was to provide the sultan with heirs, and everything was controlled by strict rules in this official institution of the empire. The queen mother was mainly the one in charge, and she would choose the women with who the sultan socialized with. The eunuchs' soldiers were in charge of protecting the private access to the harem, a word that means forbidden in Arabic. Next is the famous Grand Bazaar, located also in the old city of Istanbul and easily accessible from Sultanahmet. The Grand Bazaar is one of the oldest covered markets in the entire world, and it has been the commercial heart of Istanbul since 1455. We are not particularly keen on going to shops during our trips, but we couldn't miss this historic place. Remember to haggle with the merchants, because they will always tell you a much higher price that you are expected to pay for their products. We found most vendors here to be respectful to the tourists, but the place was very crowded and it was a little bit hard to film inside without bothering anyone. Be sure you don't get lost in between this labyrinth of more than 4,000 shops. We didn't buy objects, but we couldn't leave the Grand Bazaar without some mouth-watering Turkish delight. Our number 6 is the Basilica Cistern, located just next to Hagia Sofia. We had never seen a place like this in our trips. We were completely amazed by its outstanding architecture, with more than 300 marble columns. This engineering masterpiece, built in the 6th century by the Byzantines, is the largest of the numerous ancient cisterns that lie beneath Istanbul. Nowadays, the access to the building is possible by keeping the cistern with very little water. But for centuries, the 80,000 cubic meters of water that can be held here were used by the inhabitants of this part of the city. Don't miss the enigmatic Medusa heads, whose origin and meaning is still unknown. Number 7 on our list is the Egyptian Bazaar, located near the south side of the Galata Bridge. Opened in 1664, this covered market is the second most famous in the city. It's also known as the Spice Bazaar because it has been the center for spice trade in the city for centuries. Only in recent times that other types of shops are gradually replacing some of the spices sellers. We must admit that we preferred it over the much bigger Grand Bazaar due to its more manageable size and less crowds. Number 8 are the Galata Bridge and the Beyoglu district, located in the newer side of the European part of Istanbul. The views from this bridge are some of the most evocative in Istanbul. Since 1845, several bridges have been built over this part of the Golden Horn, being the current one from 1994. You'll see people fishing here almost 24 hours a day. Something that you shouldn't miss in a visit to Istanbul is to eat fresh seafood in one of the restaurants located at the lower level of the Galata Bridge. We chose this one for the good reviews, and they were totally right. Before crossing to the more modern side of Istanbul, we spent a good time enjoying the coming and going of the boats cruising under the Galata Bridge. On the north side of the Galata Bridge, the district of Beyoglu has some of the most famous spots in the city. This area, with its long shopping street called Istanbul Kadesi, feels even more European than the old city. And it was a predominantly Christian neighborhood until 1923. The nearby Galata Tower is a symbol of this area, surrounded by busy streets with a modern and bohemian atmosphere. You can climb to the top of this Genovese watchtower built in the 14th century for amazing views of the city. Next on our list is Balat, located also in the western shore of the Golden Horn. Balat is one of the most colorful neighborhoods in Istanbul. Historically, Balat was home to a large community of Jews since the 15th century, with also a wide variety of other ethnicities and religions, like Armenians, Bulgarians, and Greeks. But since the beginning of the 20th century, the area has been mainly inhabited by Turks. In recent years, Balat has attracted a lot of tourism, with many of its charming houses being renovated and painted with vibrant colors. Wandering around its lovely streets, you'll find plenty of cafes, restaurants, B&Bs, stores, and boutiques. Last but not the least is the ancient side of Istanbul, located in the eastern side of the Bosphorus Strait. From the Fener Pier, we took one of Istanbul public ferries. For less than €1 per person, we cruised along the Golden Horn, enjoying the incredible views over Istanbul from the upper deck of the ferry. Once in the wide Bosphorus Strait, we started seeing the ancient side of the city. Sunset was approaching and we didn't have much time left, but we didn't want to miss stepping on the ancient side of the city. From here, the view over the recently restored Maiden Tower with the old city in the background is one of the most iconic of Istanbul. That ends our top 10 places to visit in Istanbul. Let us know in the comment section about your favorite things to do in the city and if you agreed with our choices. If you want to know more about our detailed trip in Istanbul, including tips about accommodation, transport, and foods, plus many other places that we visited, check our full vlog of the city. And don't miss the rest of our Turkey travel series too. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more travel content. Most of our viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's really important to help us grow our channel in order for us to post more videos in the future. Until next time, keep exploring, rain or shine.